कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं गुरुदेव देव. Hari Om. We are doing the series on the self-realization, and in the last talk we are talking about how to do meditation, because this is a methodology to prepare the mind and redirect what exactly Vedantic meditation also means. So we started with the yoga abhyasa, where we use the Patanjali yoga to prepare the mind, and then we go slowly into the Vedantic meditation. So we said about the place and all that. So it should be proper place and the proper time, so that the mind is available for meditation. So the best recommended time is in the early mornings when everybody else is sleeping, there is no other disturbance, and find an environment conducive for the mind to go to higher state. Higher state is that which is not lower state. That means mind, it becomes a calmer and quieter, that we call it a higher state. Now to prepare the mind, we started with a proper sitting, where you should sit in such a way that you are comfortable, at the same time you are stable, you don't fall down. And when you, after feeling the completion of the sleep, so that it's easy to go to sleep, you will see that one of the obstacle is people go to sleep. Why? Because when the mind is calm and quiet, the mind is used to go to sleep. So that is a easy technique. Also, when you want to go to sleep, we will use this technique also to get a good sleep. But right now we want a meditation, so mind is already rested enough so that mind doesn't have to go to sleep. And now when to prepare the mind, you have to take bath and everything, so that the mind is fresh. And when you sit in the meditation, when the mind is, body and everything is not or comfortable, so see, the appropriate food, that means not too much, not too little, just enough, so that the whole lifespan has to be disciplined in such a way that when you sit in the meditation, you don't want to sleep. If you fully eat and then I want to meditate, obviously the blood is not going to the brain, it wants to sleep because it has to digest the food. So there is a time where you should really sleep, not with a full stomach or with a completely empty stomach where you are very hungry and your mind is turning toward the food rather than meditation. So all these things, mithya aharam, are the appropriate situations so that mind does not get disturbed unnecessarily. That's all the whole technique is. Not that you have to do and get disturbed in the process. Oh, if I don't do it, I cannot do it and all that. So it's comfortable enough that the mind can contemplate on something higher. So once you are sit, then to ensure properly, you start with a breathing. So breathing, which is normally a mechanical, now you are deliberately doing it. When you are doing deliberately, the mind has to come to the seat of meditation. Otherwise, mind goes travel all over the world. You are bodily, you are here. Mentally, you are all over the world. So to bring the mind also to the seat of meditation, the recommended practice is the first stage of meditation, we call it, is pranayama. Means prana. So yama means controlling. So you control the breath. So normally breathing goes on naturally, but now deliberately you breathe in and hold the breath in the lungs and slowly breathe out. So now you can do as you are doing, listening, but make sure that you are in a proper position and start breathing in and hold the breath and breathing out. So when you are holding the breath and controlling the breath, mind cannot run anywhere, it has to come. And why? Because the breathing and the mind are related, number one. And also there is a Kriya Shakti and the Jnana Shakti. Kriya Shakti means the capacity to act, and Jnana Shakti is capacity to know. And that's why we have 5 Jnanendriyas to gain the knowledge, 5 Karmendriyas to perform an action. And as though one is splitting into 2 branches, Shakhayodvayoho, that's what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, that there are 2 shakhas in the life. One is Kriya Shakti and another is the Jnana Shakti. By doing the Kriya Shakti, you are controlling the Jnana Shakti. By doing Jnana, you are controlling the Kriya Shakti. So they are mutually controllable, provided you know how to do it. So in the sitting position, you are controlling the breath. So it is a Kriya Shakti. Now you are doing controlling. In the process, the mind has to come to the seat of meditation. So how long you do it? This itself is a practice to bring the mind which is running out where it is getting agitated. So when you are completely agitated and restless, sit in one place and do pranayama. That helps the mind to withdraw from the continuous avocations on the same, running around like a video, keep running the same thing again and again and making it neurotic. Bring the mind and now give the mind a navigation to control the breathing itself. So pranayama helps to make the mind quiet without getting agitated, disturbed. So this is a method that can be used anytime by sitting in one place and controlling the breath when you are agitated. But here, for a meditation in terms of contemplation, here also we are bringing the body and the mind together. And Krishna says, Arjuna asks the question, it is very difficult to control the mind. So this is the mind wants to run away with that. So Krishna says, yes, it is difficult. But you can do it by practice. So practice, one becomes perfect. So this discipline has to be done continuously or regularly in a particular time, so that the mind also allotting a particular time and a particular place and a particular sequence makes the mind disciplined, because that itself is a discipline. And now controlling the breath, breathing in all the way, hold the breath as long as you can and breathe out. Now you can try now. Says breathe in all the way in, hold the breath and breathe out. And in the process continue to do this continuously, regularly, intensely, so that mind does not run away. How long you have to do it? As a sadhana, do at least 10-15 minutes as a practice itself until you know how to control your mind. So this is the first stage in the meditation, and this is essential requirement for everybody, so that the mind doesn't run away all over the place. Because when you are transacting, the mind has to run away. But now you are not transacting, you want to be with yourself and look inside the Lord inside you. So therefore the mind has to be there, and this pranayama becomes essential methodology to control the mind. So once you have the control of the mind, now we go to the second stage. The first stage is pranayama. This is what the Patanjali Yoga also tells. Now we go to the next step, and that's called prana vichana. Prana vichana means observing the breathing. Now you are not controlling the breathing, you already control the breathing. Now you want to observe the breathing. It means witnessing the process. Now we are learning how to witness when the body is functioning. This is the methodology to stand apart from the body itself. So now we are now sitting in the meditation. We are going through the stage 1, the pranayama, and once you have recognized that the mind is available for you, now slowly go out of the body as though, and start observing the body and observing the breathing process. So you are now looking at your own body breathing. So observe slowly the breathing, the air is going in. Now you are not controlling, let it go as natural as possible, but you be an observer without interfering with the operation of the body. So without interfering it, just an observer for the breathing process. You observe standing apart as though outside, looking at the body, breathing in. So breathing in, observe how the air is getting filled in the lungs, and slowly breathe out how the air is going out. So now you are the observer of the process without interference. In this, the mind is an observer and function at the body level. Body is going on, and the process will be going on naturally without our interference, because that's a natural process. And the mind has now given a duty to observe this process. Now who is the witness? It is the mind that is witnessing. Mind supported by the consciousness. Chidabhasa is there. And Chidabhasa is not there, we cannot be there without the pure consciousness also. Also all three are there. All three is, the pure Satchidananda is always there. Now mind along with the reflection, that means a conscious mind is now observing the body functioning, your own body functioning. You can do this not only pranayama, not only breathing, if you can stand apart and observe particularly the mechanical process, walking, sitting and talking. Talking may be difficult because the mind has to be there involved in the talking, otherwise you may talk nonsense. But these are the mechanical process, you can be an observer. Who is the observer? Mind only. There is no question of third person. Mind only, supported by Chidabhasa, supported back again by the whole consciousness, is an observer observing the body functions. And it's easy to observe at least the prana aspect, because we know the air is going in and lungs are working and all that, because we cannot observe other things, jnana, udana, samana, all those things, because we have no way to observe all that. Digestive system, we know things are getting digested, but we cannot observe it other than imagining things. Now this is the second stage of meditation. First stage is pranayama, second stage is prana vichana. Pranayama is controlling the breathing, second stage is the observation of the breathing. Now in the process of the second stage, when you discover that the mind has run away without observing, because it has a tendency to observe. Some noise comes, suddenly the mind goes away. What's that? Who is that? Why is he doing it? When I am doing meditation, and what is he doing? When did he got up? All blah 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 will come. Leaving prana-vichana. Let there be disturbance, and I am here only. That's why before meditation people start doing the invocation of the Lord. Please help me in this. Let there not be any obstacles to disturb me. So that's called Om Shantihi, Om Shantihi, Om Shantihi. So we repeat 3 times. Why is that 3 times? The first Shanti is, let there be peace from all obstacles that are Adi Daivika, that means that which is beyond control, human control. Suddenly a storm coming, suddenly disturbance which are beyond my control. Those called Adi Daivika. That's called first Shanti. Second Shanti is Om Shanti, let there be peace of things that I know where they are, but I have no control. But suddenly my neighbor, youngster, is putting a big music, bang music, when I'm sitting in the meditation. So let there not be that kind of disturbance called Adi Bhautika. That means external but uncontrollable source of disturbances. And third Shanti is the internal, from my own source, from my own mind, and let there be peace at least during this time of meditation. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So every prayer invokes Om means O Lord. So since O Lord you have to pray, now you don't have to make a long distance call because He is everywhere. So O Lord, please help me to keep these disturbances that I have no control on to the minimum possible when I am doing the meditation. So that's what a prayer before with the understanding helps so that the mind is now ready. So when I find during the second stage, prana vichana, the mind has run away, then what should I do? The very fact that you have recognized that the mind has run away, that's a big deal. Because a lot of people, mind runs away and you don't know, you also run away with the mind and you don't even know that you run away. So the very fact that I recognize that my mind has run away, who has recognized? Again the mind. So part of the mind recognize that my mind has run away, bring it back to the seat. So therefore that is abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha krishnate. By practice one can do. So initially it's difficult. After half an hour you Sunday it's already gone. So bring it back. So the second stage of this process will be again has to be done for whole month each one, so that you develop the knack of how to control. If you can do earlier, if the mind is already, you are already disciplined, because we all are disciplined in order to succeed in life. So when we are working very hard in order to succeed, we concentrate on that. That means we withdraw the mind from all other and paying attention to that. That means we know how to concentrate. So someone asks, how do I meditate? Am I qualified to meditate? To Swami Vivekananda. If you know how to chew a gum, then you know how to meditate. Because you are able to do that, therefore you can do this also. So that means I have a capacity to do it. When I am indulging in the things that I like, we don't ask that question, because my mind is going and I'm meditating on that. If you can meditate on that, you can meditate on this. Only thing is, I need to bring the mind from those attachments to this. I should get attached to this. But this attachment will leave all other attachments. So therefore, second stage we are talking about is prana vichana. Pranayama, prana vichana. So in the prana vichana time, if the mind has run away, bring it back to first stage. Again go through the first stage and then go to second stage. So when you sit in the meditation, start with the first stage, that is pranayama, and then go to prana vichana. That is the second stage. Then we are talking about third stage. Third stage is involved the vichana of the whole body. That means starting not only the prana, but now be a witnessing consciousness or witness of the whole body from top to bottom. That means body is idam, this body. This is an equipment given to me by the Lord for proper usage. So He is lending me some equipment that I am borrowing, that I had to use it for my transactions so that I can fulfill what I want with using the body. So therefore, a body, you have to be reverential attitude for the things you borrowed from him, this body from the matter, because he is the one who gave it to you. I don't design this body. It will be terrible if I can design, because remember, even the same heart, that small muscles is doing day in and out of dub 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 whole day, continuously, whole night, and year after year, many years. Even a car pump doesn't work more than 2 years, 3 years, we have problem, leaking all over. And this is functioning so beautifully for years. It's a real wonder actually. So if you really think of it, so you cannot but bow down that intelligence. So everything, every organ is precisely located in a particular function, so that systematically the machine can work. Body is a machine. So heart, lungs are there, the heart is there pumping the blood all over. Every cell is getting the blood properly, every cell is getting the food properly, and the bad things are sending back again into proper places in order to discharge, so that it will not be poisonous. The body becomes poisonous if we cannot excrete, the system doesn't work. Even with excretion, you have to think, my Lord, this is because of His grace only that I am able to do this. That is real wonder. Now prana, vichana too, we are talking about the witnessing, vision of the whole body. The third stage of the meditation is look at the whole body, completely every body precisely located, and admire the Creator who created. There are 2 eyes, 2 ears for stereographic vision, stereographic audio system, listening. And every sin is kept with the senses so that I can feel the touch, so that I can protect every part of the body. If it's too hot somewhere, if I don't know, then my body gets burned. Immediately I know, even mosquito bites somewhere else, I'm conscious of it, to withdraw my body. What a wonder. And that is really a paying attention to the body, every function of the body, and admiring that I better take care of this body properly. Don't put a lot of junk into it. Give what the body requires. Body needs something, not body wants something only, not pizza or not this and the other. You can give, that's only mind wants those things. You can give, but with the controlled amount. So because you have desire for it, we cannot control. We'll come back to that later. But this body function, when observing it, you become detached from the body. Detached means not physically, but conceptually or mentally. I can see the body. Body can have a problem, but I don't have a problem. This is one of the things to be learned in the vichana. So prana vichana, then third stage is deha vichana. What's called? Observing the body. Observing, only I can observe the physical body to start with, the sthula sariram that I can easily see, and I can easily see internally how the things, because I know how the physiological, I have studied the biology enough to know that there is the system is how the system works. I can imagine and see how my own system is functioning and wonder that designer who designed that. If things go back, mostly because of misusing some of the equipments is some of the reasons why things don't work. Things don't work because of the hereditary problems, because I am born in an environment. In order to go through that, there is nothing much you can do, so therefore forbearance, titiksha is important. That third stage, first stage is pranayama, second stage is prana vichana, third stage is deha vichana, observing the mind, observing the body. So this is the third. When you are observing the body, if you have gone beyond, so go back to previous steps and bring the mind back again. So this discipline has to go on every time, because not only you, everybody has these problems. Even one day you may be able to do, next day you may not be able to do, because your mind is agitated. It's not the same state of mind when you are doing. So therefore, recognize the problems of the mind, recognize that these things will happen, but make control so that it happens, the disturbance becomes less and less. As I says, by abhyasa. So chanchalam hi manah krishna pramadi balavadrudam tasyam nigraham manye vayoro sudushkuram. So Arjuna says, this mind is chanchalam. Chalam means keep on, chalam, keep on running away all the time. And And Chanchalam hi Mana Krishna, Pramadi Balabhadram, it's like a controlling the wind. How do you control the wind? It's very difficult to control, particularly Tufan and all that. You cannot control it. You better run away from it. Protect yourself. That's all the weatherman says. If the storm is coming, please move to some place. Because we cannot control the storm. We can only tell you that it's coming. Right? That's essentially what implication of that is. So I have to do whenever I can. What I can do is I have to see, but what I cannot control is what I have to bear with. Tantitiksha Swabarata. Forbearance becomes a part of sadhana also. Yes, I have a problem of sitting. My back is paining. Okay, sit comfortably enough, at least in those moments where you are not conscious of your backache. At least at those moments. Or sitting in a position where backache is minimum. So all these things are become. If not, then lie down and meditate. But you get very easily to sleep. So you have to watch it also. So a particular pose is only prescribed for convenience so that the mind can be there at the seat. Once you practice, you may be able to do anywhere also. So someone asked, when are you meditating? When do you want to meditate? So once you know the technique, you are in meditation all the time. These techniques are only helpful to reach that stage. Once you know how to do it, you can do without all these steps also. With the steps or without the steps also. That is become natural for you. That we'll discuss slowly. But now we are going from the third step. It's called Deha Vichana. Then we go to the fourth step. Once you master these steps, you go to the next step. It's called Manovichana. Manovichana means observe the mind. Observe the mind. How do I observe? Before we go to observe the mind, we need the help, because mind is very difficult to observe. We need the help of the Lord. So here, bhakti helps you to help. How do I help the bhakti? Recognizing that I am not even the control. I don't know what life is. So see the presence of the Lord in the form of a life. I don't know who the Lord is. I don't know how He looks like. But at least I know I am alive. I don't know what life is. See the Lord, He is the life itself, because He is the very enlivening factor. He makes the life itself in the body, in the mind and soul. That's what we saw. We said the mind itself is inert, but by consciousness illumining it and reflected consciousness, Chidabhasa, makes the mind as though conscious entity. Conscious entity means it is living entity. So reflected consciousness, where with the reflecting medium is the life itself. What is the life? Life is reflected consciousness, with the reflecting medium is the life. That's why it's called mind is alive. And the body gone, the mind travels into the next loka, where it wants to find out another body where it can use that body to transact. But that life is there in the mind, because that is reflecting consciousness, Chidabhasa. So mind with the Chidabhasa, that called subtle body, moves to different lokas, not the gross body. Gross body is matter. This is only useful in this loka. You need another body to know in the other loka. Just as when I go to dream state, I leave this gross body outside, but in the dream I create my own body. I may be deaf here, I may be blind here, but I can create a body without having deafness or with blindness. I can clearly see my dream world. So I have a different body in the dream subject that I am, where I enter as though into that body, occupying that body and transacting with the dream world, and forgetting that I am the one who created the dream world. I transact, I am only a jiva, and tiger is different from me, and tiger is chasing me, please help, and all that. So that's called upavishati, that is entering into that. Same is stated even in the waking state, where after creating Lord as though enters into the jiva, upavishati, that means entering to form a upahita chaitanya, a consciousness activated by the local mind, has become a jiva. It becomes an individual, but when it transacts that I am only this, that becomes a jiva. So meditation now, we are going into the Ishvara Darshanam. Ishvara Darshanam where? Seeing the Lord in your own body. This important for quietening the mind, preparing the mind into sacred travel now. Because the Lord is there now. So we go to the next step. Bhakti becomes important. We'll also address what is really Sharanagati, Bhakti. All this means essentially here, that's where surrendering to the Lord. Oh Lord, I don't know, I am only a Dasaha and you are the Lord. What is all this means here? This is what we feel is important to know and apply it in order to go to the next step. So next we are talking about how to surrender yourself, Saranagati, in order to see the beauty of the creation and the Lord. In the process, mind evolves into the higher understanding. With that, we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Sishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.